Well, Fred Crowell's boatyard, and what was there before it, has been there since certainly Victorian times. And it was one of many sheds of its type on the river and up and down the east coast of England, in fact. But this is the last one. It's the last covered wooden slipway that's on the Tyne now. There's no other place where you can get a boat in from the river on a slip which is so readily available and in a good state of the tide, and undercover where you can work in relative comfort. It's never comfortable in a place like this. It's never too warm, but at least it's dry and get your boats serviced that way.
Tell me about how the whole trolley thing works, how you get boats in and out.
Yeah. Well, there's a trolley which we roll down on rails into the water. We bring the boats in and lie them on top of the trolley, fasten them down, then heave the trolley back into the boatyard and out of the water altogether and lock them off so they're safe, so the trolley doesn't roll off back down into the water again. And once they're right into the shed, then we shackle them down and close the doors and be able to get on to work with them.
So what plans does East Maritime Trust have? What are the possibilities for uses of this place?
Well, the use is to go back to what this boat shed was supposed to do in the first place, which is to get on and repair boats, to even build them, because boats used to be built here many years ago, and that's what we'd like to do again. And there are plenty of wooden boats around, because it's really the wooden boats that we're interested in historical terms.
I mean, it would have been really sad if this had gone, or if it'd been knocked down or sold off or whatever. Just talk to me around what might have happened.
If we hadn't managed to get a new 30-year lease on this building, on this piece of land with the slip, it's highly likely that the land would have been built over, and you may very well have found there'd been new housing here, or offices or whatever it may be, and there'd be no other boatyard of its type on the east coast left to service all these historic boats and others that need to be brought into cover to be worked on.
So tell me about the deal that the Trust have got with the landlords, who they are.
The landlords are South Tyneside Council, to whom we're grateful, because we've got our existing workshops which are adjacent to the boatyard. We've had a lease here since 2005, and now after quite a bit of negotiation, I must say, we've now got a fairly good lease on this new place, but it needs a lot of work, and we need to raise a great deal of money. The roof was badly damaged in the storms in January, and we know that most of the roof has to be replaced, and that's the cost of around about £28,000, which is frightening in a way, because we've got to live by donations and gifts that people make to us. And of course by looking for money from the Community Foundation, who are very good, very helpful. But it does take a lot of effort to get that money in.
So the fabric of the building's not great. What about, surely it's a wealth of tools and old stuff in there, or maybe not?
Well, there's a wealth of old stuff in there, that's for sure. I think we need just a string of skips to get rid of a lot of it. But that's the nature of the beast. This shed has been here for a very, very long time. It's been very well used, but it's gradually deteriorated over time. And Fred Crowell, who's a good friend of ours, but Fred decided he'd had enough, he would retire in the middle of last year. So really we've got a pretty big job ahead of us now, just clearing out what's gathered over generations, way back to Victorian times. It's all stuff that's got to go. Whilst saying that, we don't want to lose the historical interest of the place, because it's part of the history of this river. It's the last one. We need to save what's there, but we need to be able to work in it as well.
So you've got to have modern health and safety arrangements in there. It's got to be a safe, decent place to work.
It's got to be a safe working environment, but it all comes at a cost, but we've got to, and we do accept, our people have got to be safe and secure in that working environment, as you rightly put it.
So paint a picture of how this place might be working with next door in, say, 5 years' time.
Well, our long-term plan is to carry on refurbishing the old boats as we get them in, and we have a lot of them coming our way, but we can only handle so many. We haven't that much ground space, so we've got a backlog of work which will take probably for the next 2 or 3 years. But there's a mezzanine floor in here as well, and what we'd like also to do is to start building skiffs and other small boats, as we do at the moment. And some of the smaller boats that we work on, the Joan, the last foy boat on the River Tyne that we're rebuilding right now, which is almost complete, that sort of boat, 12, 15 feet long. But the main slip itself will take boats up to about 12 tons, which is similar size to the Henry Frederick Swan, the 1917 lifeboat that we own. And she'll be back in the water in spring of next year, we really hope. And she'll be able to get in here, as will other boats of that size. But we've got to be able to turn around boats fairly quickly. And there are lots of boat owners on boat clubs on the river that we know are looking for facilities such as this to get their boats under cover and get them work on it.